Ah, come on, you daft bugger. Alright, okay. Yeah, we're going to be continuing with our Dwarf Fortress today. Just going to send out a few things first, and then we'll get straight into it. Give people some time to show up as well. But yeah, today we're going to be trying something. We'll see if we can actually get my plans to work. I have a feeling that it's not going to work, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll be devoting a good couple hours to this, as we always do. I mean, it's Friday. We always play Dwarf Fortress on Fridays, so you know we've got to continue where we left off and see whether we can continue and fulfill our goals, all that other kind of stuff. Take a break from other things as well. So yeah, let's see if we can do it. But before I do that, I'm just gonna send out one more thing, and then I'll be done. Alright, okay, I think that's everything. So here's our fortress. Our plan so far has been to try and build a fortress on the ocean. But, well, on the shore. I mean, we don't have much ocean to go with, but we wanted to build kind of like an ocean, a little tower kind of in this bottom square here, or kind of along here, so to speak. But we haven't been able to do that because, unfortunately, the ocean hasn't frozen. That was the idea. The idea would be that the ocean would freeze over in the winter, and then what we'd be able to do then would just be to carve it all out. So that's what we were hoping for, but unfortunately it hasn't happened. So we need to figure out a different way of getting into this, a different way of getting rid of this water, because there aren't really any easy ways to place supports in water. We don't want the fortress to be supported from the shoreline. I mean, we could do that, right? It would be relatively simple to do that, but if we have it supported from the shoreline, then we can't have like a drawbridge or anything like that, which would close off the fortress, because it would have to always be connected to that shoreline. And I mean, you could still block it off. You could do like a wall construction of some kind, which do the same thing. But I want to see if I can get rid of the water, at least temporarily, long enough for us to be able to place supports. I've got 3 ideas of how to do this. One of them is the easiest one, and that's the one we're going to be doing today. The other 2 ideas are a bit more complicated. Well, actually, one of them isn't that complicated, but I just don't think it would work this way, but I'd like to try it out as well. The third idea is relatively complicated, and it would involve a lot of work. So we're going to do the first one today, and I'm not going to tell you what the idea is yet. The first thing we're going to have to do, though, is we're going to have to build some kind of defense, because as you can see, this is a really barren landscape. We've got 2 dead dwarves up here, by the way. We should actually have a dead dwarf count so far. So let's copy the zombie count here, and let's get a dead dwarf counter on screen. Just put that over there. There we go, yeah, we've already had 2 dwarfs die in the fortress. But we need to get those corpses gone. So what I'm thinking we're going to do today is, first of all, we're going to build a massive wall, just separating the coast from the north here, which is where I imagine most things are going to be coming from. And then what we're going to do as well is we're going to be we're going to have to build a fortress the traditional way. We're going to have to build a more traditional dwarf fortress, which means that originally I wasn't intending to build a proper fortress down here, which is why you can see it's really quite barren. We've got a room where I was just storing shite, and then that's about it. But we're going to have to build a fortress, and then eventually, when the kind of plan comes to fruition, we'll be able to move everybody back outside again. But that's the kind of idea here. So what I'm going to be doing is we're going to be using our blocks that we've been making to build a wall, which hopefully will allow us to close off the entire top of this, or at least a good section of this map here. What we'll probably do actually is we have this here. This is a massive stockpile of what is this stockpile again? It's been so long since I played this, I'm kind of forgetting what I've done. Oh yeah, this is our bar stockpile. I think this is our block stockpile. So we're going to have a massive wall just around all that, so that we can block this off, because we don't want our neighbours to be coming here and causing us trouble. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing that first of all. So why don't we get started on that? Yeah, that's about as close as we're allowed to put it. And we'll just be using all of our different blocks. We'll be getting we got basically infinite amount of blocks. Blocks are dead cheap to make. So using these blocks here, it's not really an issue. I mean, you can see already that we got a billion of them. So yeah, I'm not too concerned about that. Hey, Seaspace and Gnaffle. What's my master plan to get the seawall? I don't know whether I should spoil it yet. It's a really dumb plan. It's a really daft idea. But it's a simple method, right? That's the first one we're going to try. We're going to attempt what I reckon is the most simple method of dealing with this. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not 100% convinced it will work, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So that's kind of like how I am at the moment with that. Yeah, and then we'll just do it. Probably one more across, yeah, like that. So yeah, I'm just going to block all of this off here with walls and just using all of our available blocks in order to do that. We do need to have a gap because we need to put a drawbridge there, which is going to protect and allow dwarves to, and it's going to allow the traders to enter the area, which is fine. We shouldn't have to worry about any flying enemies mostly, so I don't think we need to close the top of this off. But beyond that, yeah, we're just going to continue. And that's almost all of our blocks that I'm willing to use. No, actually, we do have some more that we can use here as well. Okay. So let's get them started on that. That'll be the start, and then we'll continue to do the rest of that when we've got more blocks. And you can see all of our dwarves are immediately going to get to it. But in the meantime, we're going to go down here and we're going to start planning some area out. So as you can see, this is the lowest point of the ocean. Here. This is the lowest point of the sea. So if you go down one more, you'll see that there's no more shore. This is the lowest that it gets. So we're going to be constructing some stuff on this level here. And hopefully what we're going to construct is going to allow us to deal with this. Alrighty, fine, keep your secrets. I mean, it's a surprise, right? It's going to be surprising. It's going to be surprising as to whether this will work or not. But we'll give it a go anyway. But yeah, we've already got a... Oh, actually, what I want to do is I want to go up one level here. And then I want to dig all the way over here. And then... if we go down one... let's go back a little bit, like there, yeah. And then I just want to build a big corridor down that way. And that's going to be the first part of this plan. So yeah, we just need a massive ass corridor. We're also going to have to build bedrooms, so we're going to do that as well, and we're just going to do that on oh, are they upset about the corpse, or is something else upset them? He said he cancelled a building because he was horrified for some reason. Probably the corpse. We do need to move the corpses actually. Oh right, actually we only lost one dwarf, not two, so just let me fix that real quick. Dead dwarf count, change that to 1. There we go. Though I'm not sure who... oh, is this the no, wait, we did lose 2 dwarfs. Then why isn't 2 dwarfs showing up in the Kogan Paddle Phantoms Dwarf Blood? Okay, so I guess we did lose 2 dwarfs. Never mind, we'll figure that out later. I do want to deconstruct both of these buildings here, don't need them anymore. Remove building, and remove that building there, and then let's go down here. We do need an area where we can dump corpses. We could just dump them into the sea. Actually, what we could do is we could build some kind of like tower for dumping corpses in to the ocean, like a platform for just dumping them into the sea. So hopefully they just get washed away. So why don't we do that? We'll build a... We just kind of used almost all of our blocks, but we can use... We'll get some more, I'm sure. We don't need much of a platform, just kind of, we could do one like over here. Oh god, that's actually quite expensive. Right, we'll leave that for now. We do need more blocks though. This is not going to cut it either. We got this here, where he's making rock parts. We got a carpenter's workshop and got masons. That's just not going to cut it. We need them to be doing a little bit more than that. So what I'm going to do here, I think, is we're going to build a... yeah. We're going to build a room. We're going to start building some workshops on the top level of the fortress here. Again, I think doing it on the top level is fine here. I'm not sure exactly where. We can actually build... Yeah, we could build them... We could build them up here. I mean, this is a little bit of a curvy fortress at the moment. 1, 2, 3... Oh, actually, I don't really want to build them on this level, for a variety of reasons. I don't think I do anyway. No. No. I'm just trying to think about how I want to plan this out. We need to be careful about how we do all this stuff, because obviously it's going to be a bit of a pain in the arse to go back and fix any mistakes if we make them. So I'm trying to think about the best way we can do this. Yeah, okay, so what let's just deconstruct all of these. First of all, we'll do that first, and then we'll remove all of those workshops. I want to have some masons workshops on this top floor here. The reason being because we have this massive stockpile, which is just where we're sending loads of rocks up. So we just have this massive rock stockpile here, and then we can have some masons workshops just directly underneath it. Actually, we could do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 here. Actually, yeah. Yeah, like that. Actually, we can have some masons workshops down there, and then they'll be able to be building. Yeah, they'll have spaces to do that. And then what we'll do after that is we'll build a proper workshop layer for other kinds of workshops there. But we have our rock stockpile that's on the surface here, and this is where they'll be able to build blocks, and then those blocks will be taken up here, where they'll be stored safe for, well, not particularly safe at the moment, but relatively safe in the future. As soon as they dug that out, oh man, okay. Masons, right, we want the masons here. And we can use our blocks for this. Use a granite block there. You can see that they've carved this out here, and then yeah, we'll leave that for the time being. What we want to do is start building out a more kind of... We could do something on this level here. Possibly we could just build workshops here. So we could build, for example, our carpenter's workshops here. I'm not sure what kind of stock. This is a... Yeah, we've got a leather stockpile, cloth stockpile, and furniture stockpile here. Yeah, let's build some workshops here. We'll build a leather workshop. Oh, we've already got one of those, actually. What we want then is a crafts dwarf workshop here. We'll build a few of those. We'll just use granite because there's lots of that. So we'll build 4 of those. We'll also build some masons workshops. Actually, we'll need the masons workshops, but we'll build some carpenters workshops. Then we'll build a couple of mechanical workshops here. We only need probably about 2 of those. We don't need as many. So we'll build 2 of those. What else do we need? We need that, we could build a jeweler's, for example. We could do some jewelry making possibly if we wanted to. I don't really see the value in it, but we could do it. Other than that, I think that's about everything what we need desperately anyway. We've got all the other workshops that we desperately need. I mean, obviously we're going to need to do some metal making, but because of our total lack of stone that we got, I'm very reluctant to do that. Because of our total lack of God, what's this? This is troglodyte blood. Okay, there's been a nasty fight down here of some description. Okay, so yeah, we'll leave that. So that's on that level there. Oh, we haven't. We need to We need to make some more hotkeys for this. Okay, so hotkey here. Zoom to here. F3. Name this to workshops. Zoom here. And then. Yeah, we've got the gate, and then we've got this. We'll leave that for the time being. That's just fine as it is. But we do need to get this bridge sorted here as well. Hey Avenue, welcome. We're working on our Dwarf Fortress at the moment, as you can see. Right, we want to do that. We want to keep making rock pots. How about we also make some more blocks? Make 500 of them. That's a ridiculously large number, but it'll be more than enough to do basically everything we want to do. 500 of that would mean that we'd end up with 2,000 blocks in total, because each order is one order. So that would be 500 times a dwarf would take a stone and turn that into blocks. Each stone creates 4 blocks, so that means you get 2,000 in total, which is a very significant number of blocks indeed. So that's what we're going to be doing there, and I don't know why they're not constructing that wall. It's kind of irritating. I might just X that out and then tell them to do it again. Sometimes that can help, not always, but it can help. We've already got some more blocks here. Firelight blocks is fine. And here as well. Gabbro blocks, quartzite blocks. We'll wait until we get some more blocks. We do need this to be done though relatively quickly, because we do want to be able to close that area off. We have some very not so nice neighbours at the moment, so that's always something to keep in mind. Like, obviously we want to be good on that. And let's go back up here as well. We're going to be building a new workshop here, and we're going to be building another masons. We want 2 more masons workshops there, so that they can just turn that stone directly into blocks. And I mean, that's a good start on the fortress, right? That's everything going smoothly so far. Okay, and then let's do it here. This will be fine. Build that there. I don't know if I want to do a new kind of structure for housing. I usually have like a set idea in my mind about how I like to do housing, but maybe we could do something different today. I'm not sure. Like, I haven't really put much thought into it. We could do a whole bunch of things. I'm not sure. Right, I think I'll do it the way that I usually do it. These dwarves have not had beds. I think we've made some beds. Let's just set an order to construct 10 beds. We do need to cut down more trees. We have very little wood, which is unfortunate. Use the veins as corridors and make organic rooms. Nah, I like having them kind of neat and laid out. Is that a cave crocodile? That's unfortunate. That's probably why there's Alright, go cut down that tree there. And there's a whole bunch of trees over here, so try and cut those down as well. We got a very weird structure for this caverns. Oh, and also cut down this tree here. Yeah, there we go. And that'll get us some more wood. Wouldn't it be great if there was explosives to mine with? I mean, if mining is the first application you have for explosives, you know, you didn't immediately think of doing something else with explosives, then I'm not sure you have the right mindset for Dwarf Fortress, frankly. Like, you know, I'd first want to use them for other things in this game. Probably involving goblins, or possibly elves, I don't know. That would be my first thought. Yeah, it'd be great if there was explosives in Minecraft. Minecraft? Christ almighty. My brain's melting today. It'd be great if there was explosives in Dwarf Fortress. God, why did I say Minecraft? I mean, hopefully it's something that comes with the next set of changes that Toadie is planning on making. I mean, that'd be really good, wouldn't it? Alright. Rejoice, dwarves, you're going to have beds soon. As soon as we got some more wood, which we don't have a great deal of. So, actually, beds are going to be something of a rarity at the moment. And generally speaking, I'd rather make other things out of wood, like bins, which are more useful. But some of you will have beds, so congratulations to those lucky few. Dwarves don't like explosives. I think a dwarf could be... I think they could respect the power of explosives. I think they could learn to live with it, you know? Okay. There we go. They prefer to hack at stones with a pick. I mean, yeah, there is something quite dwarvish about mining and, you know, the traditional ways that dwarves mine. But I'm sure that they'd also enjoy the other aspects that come with explosions. I mean, let's not forget, the benefit of explosions isn't just in your ability to mine more efficiently. There are other benefits. Okay, so let's start planning this out. Yeah. Okay. It's probably not going to be... It probably is not going to take a brain genius to figure out what my first plan for draining the ocean is. I can imagine a lot of you can probably figure out what I'm going to propose we do here. So... My first idea for how to drain the ocean is to move it temporarily somewhere else. And there's only really one place where we could put it temporarily. So yeah, I'm sure you can imagine what I'm planning on doing here. So we've got this corridor built up here. This is one level higher than the lowest level of the fortress, and this corridor is going to be really important. And then what we're going to do here is we're going to have a bunch of corridors leading off from here to yeah, just to roughly where the first corridor is. So if it's let's actually build like a marking point here. Yeah, here. So we're gonna have like some corridors down here with a gap of, I think we could put a gap of 3 squares, 1, 2, 3 between each corridor. Or do we want to do 2 squares? But yeah, we'll be 2 squares, 2 square corridor. Freeze the ocean. I can't freeze the ocean. That's what I was hoping would happen. That would have saved me a lot of bother. Unfortunately, the ocean didn't freeze, which means that we have to do something else with the ocean if we want to sink supports into it. So what I'm proposing we do is we build a series of corridors here. As you can see that we're digging out. And then what we'll have is we'll have a series of gates, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to temporarily dump all the water into the caverns. Now, what I'm hoping is if we dump the water into the caverns, the quantity of water that will enter the caverns won't be so much that it would fill up the caverns, because basically it would spill onto the edge of the map, right? So it would hit the edge of the map and then it wouldn't be able to fill it up. It's not going to be contained anywhere. But what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to build a wall in the caverns to just make sure that that water then doesn't... well, actually, I don't even think we need to do that. What we do need to do is have a series of corridors here that connect to the ocean. We have an access corridor above so that dwarves can get in and out of these tunnels. And yeah, so for example here, I think this is the point here. So there. So what we'd have here would be some downstairs, 1, 2, like that. Like that. Oh, actually, yeah, we'll do it like that, yeah. Oh, I did it wrong. Fuck. Bollocks it up. Yeah, I just realized that I made the corridors 3 long instead of 2 long, didn't I? Ah, I've already screwed it up. Alright, okay, never mind. We can kind of rejig this. We'll do 2x2 corridors instead of 3x3s. So, we'll have a corridor go here, down like that. I think actually a 2x2 design is better. Then a corridor go down like that. For example... Though this does mean that we're going to need to have more bridges involved, which is unfortunate. Oh, actually, we could just have a series of really long bridges as a way that we can get around that. And then like that down there. Drain the ocean. Yeah, that's what we're going to be attempting to do. I have no idea whether it's going to work or not. But I'm hoping that something like this will be able to do it. I'm sure somebody's going to come along in a second and tell me that my plan's really dumb. But my other plans, I promise you, are even stupider than this one. I think this is the one that's most likely to work. But we will see if this works. We'll see if this works. I don't know if you want to hear... Do you want to hear my other plans? Do you want to hear my other 2 ideas about it? Okay, I'll just tell you my other 2 ideas. Okay, so this is my first idea. My first idea is to dump all the water into the caverns, right? So we dump all the water into the caverns, and that way the water will just splash into the caverns harmlessly, and we'll then create a space from which we can build some kind of... we can hopefully then build... We'll create enough space where we can build... some support, and then we'll be able to control the flow of water into the caverns by having using drawbridges to block off and close access to this area whenever we need to. So that was my first idea. My second idea is to try and... Yes, the ocean does spawn in new water, so we need to be moving enough water fast enough so that we're draining more water into the caverns than water appears on screen. That's the tricky part. My other brilliant idea is to try the same thing, but without draining it into the caverns, using pump screws to drain it into some kind of large cistern. And that one I don't think is particularly workable. I think it's possible. I remember reading somewhere that pumping water with a screw is so efficient that you only need a couple of screws to actually clear the ocean of water temporarily, and that would have been one of my plans. My third plan, and it's the daftest of my ideas, but I think it's the most interesting, would be to pump magma up from the sea, up from the magma sea down below, and then pour the magma into the ocean. Because what that would do would turn the water into obsidian, and then we just mine it like normal. So that's my third and final plan. That's my third and final idea. That one is the trickiest, or at least it's the most annoying to set up. So it's going to be the last one that we try, if all the others methods fail. But that idea would be to just dump enough magma onto the ocean so that it turns into obsidian. We can then mine out the obsidian, but leave supports, and then the ocean water will come back. And you know, we'll even get some obsidian out of it, which is always nice. Hey there, Brelix. The ocean's nice and chilly today. Oh, they're gonna do damp stoning, aren't they? They're gonna be like, we can't construct here. There's damp stone located. Yeah. They can dig. It's because here the ocean is literally above here, which is a pain in the arse. I hate it when they do this. Yeah, we have plenty. We do have plenty. We can definitely drain the ocean. It's just about how long it's going to take. Oh, we've also had new migrants arrive, by the way. We should probably check those out in a second. But at the moment, I'm more focused on my kind of. I'm more focused on my construction project. Oh, I'm sure about this. I'm 100% sure about this. It is kind of irritating though to dig here, because there's no way that it can flood here, because of the way that it is. It's because they can feel the damp water above them. That's why they're doing it. Yeah, and then they cancel the digging designation, which is a real pain in the arse. We also need to be careful as well, because water can flow diagonally, so that means that we don't want to obviously have any diagonals which connects the ocean, because we don't have anything set up at the moment to prevent the water from flooding into the fortress. Because of the way water pressure works at the moment, the water should flood into here, but without the staircases being blocked off, it would rise. It would rise up to the highest level that the water's at, which is this level here. Actually, this level here. So it would rise to this level, and then it would flood everything in the fortress below this level, basically. So we need to be really careful with this. But yeah, how's everybody else? Is everybody else having a good day today? Okay, so that's that. I'm going to leave them to that. I'll probably get like 1 billion notifications in a second telling me that I need to pay more attention to it, but... Okay, right, let's start placing some beds. Actually, what we should do is not do it like that. We should have the bed directly in front of the door. Because they can climb over beds. They can't climb over cabinets or chests. So we want them to be like here. Yeah, like that. Perfect. Oh, the other thing I wanted to do is build a tavern. I wanted to build a tavern on the surface here. So that's the other fun idea that I had. Alright, so we've got 10 beds. I'm just watching this guy play this weird dwarf game. I'm surviving. That's good to hear, Brolix. I don't know. I have no idea how far we'll get with this today. I'm hoping that we don't run into some other issue. For example, relating to zombies, which would obviously be unfortunate. So I just realised something. Zoom here. Yeah. Okay. F1, F2, F3. Yeah. Also, why is that cat freaking out? There's a giant horseshoe crab there. There's a cat freaking out on the staircase. I'm not sure why. Has it been injured? Oh, no, it's not a cat. It's a dog. A left rear leg is cut open. How did that happen? Was this when, oh, actually, I think I know what this might have been. Okay, so when we opened up the caverns, a troll managed to sneak all the way to the surface. You can actually see the troll's corpse. It's still on the surface. We need to get rid of it. I've been neglecting that. And yeah, what happened was the troll managed to sneak onto the surface, and we had no way of dealing with it. At the time, one of our dwarves was having the strange mood, and we desperately needed to make some iron blocks, just so that the strange mood dwarf could complete his strange mood. And it just so happened that the troll was standing in the exact place that we didn't need him to stand in order for the strange mood to happen. So I had to draft every single one of my dwarves into the military, and then we told them to go punch the troll, and that's why you can see the troll corpse lying here. And it's just stayed there. In fact, it's a troll skeleton now. Oh, we probably have enough blocks that we can make the other construction that we need to make as well, which is our dumping platform, which we will build. You know what? I think we'll build it here. I'm not sure exactly. We'll build it. We'll build it. We'll build it there. We'll use granite blocks for this. Yeah, we'll leave them to that. Oh man, I do love this game though. Digging okay, so it's cancelled the digging again. Come on man, just get it done. I think there's a way to turn that off, but I can't remember what it is. We'll just have to bear with it for the time being. They'll figure it out eventually. There we go. Okay, so we got these chambers here. What we want to do now is build as many drawbridges across this as we possibly can, because that's going to be how we close this off if we need to close it off, so that we can stop water draining into the caverns. And this isn't only being like the kind of test run that we're going to do first. We're going to also have to channel down into the caverns, right? I just saw a really scary notification. Is there a cave crocodile? Oh, great. There's a cave crocodile on the staircase. I knew that I needed to close that bloody drawbridge. Right. Oh, great. Excellent. Perfect. 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 Right. Where is it? No, that's the giant horseshoe crab. Oh god, it's got a name. That means it's killed something. Oh, it's killed a dog. It's killed. I think that's what killed the dog. Oh dear, oh dear. Yeah, oh dear, oh dear. Okay, first things first. Oh great, I can even see where it's been. Reports. Oh god, this cave crocodile is just killing everybody in the fortress. Is this seriously going to be how the fortress ends, just with everybody dying to a cave crocodile? We still got 38 dwarves, but it seems that we've lost a lot of dwarves in the cave crocodile attack already. It's so hard to keep track of where it's going as well. It's like... It's just on the staircase. Okay. Okay. Right, let's first of all pull this lever so that nothing else can get out of the caverns and into the fortress. Right, Alright, that's step 1. Step 2 is let's go to our military and create a new squad. And we're just going to put everybody into this military squad. Okay, cool. Then we're going to make a new squad. We're going to do the exact same thing. Okay, cool. Then military, sorry, squads. Schedule active, B, schedule active. Right. Okay, so squad. Go kill the crocodile, and you do the same. We're going to just send 20 dwarves at the crocodile. Hopefully that's enough dwarves that one of them will be able to punch it to death. I have no idea whether this is going to be true or not. Oh god! That guy's lost his left arm to a crocodile. Okay, I have no idea where the crocodile is now. Alright, they're all punching the crocodile. They're all punching the crocodile to death. Oh god, that means our expedition leader has died. Though he looks like he's also bleeding to death. Yeah, it seems that they are. It seems that the cave crocodile... They're all punching the crocodile to death. The crocodile at the moment is... it's pretty damaged. I mean, you can see here that it's been punched quite a lot. I think it's unconscious as well, but it's still not dead. They're just punching it. They're just slowly punching the crocodile. They're standing in... Okay, the crocodile's dead. Christ almighty. At least... We lost at least 4, 5 dwarves in our military squads, plus however many dwarves it killed before we killed it. Okay, we need to assess the damage. We need to assess the damage. But for the time being, let's disband our military squads. We disband that one, and then we disband that one. And we're going to have to... I think we're going to have to make a... I've been avoiding it, but we're going to have to make a graveyard. The caverns is closed off, so the same thing can't happen again. It's not going to be coming into the fortress. Everything's all right. I don't know about that one. Everything's all right. That's what he says. No, we're talking about the cave crocodile, DDR Jake. A cave crocodile got into the fortress and it's killed maybe about 10 dwarves. It's killed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 dwarves. Okay, only 5 dwarves. Though I know more dwarves are going to die from it because at least one dwarf had its arm ripped off. They're still alive for the moment, but they're going to bleed to death. So, yeah, not great. So we're going to have to build a graveyard. Okay, let's start making some coffins then. We'll probably make about 20 of these. I assume that dwarves like having tea in the flaming building. Keep... How goes Ocean Exit? Not very well. I was doing my building plans, and then a cave crocodile killed most of my dwarves. So yeah, that's not very good. We're gonna have to. The first thing we're going to be doing now is building a graveyard. So yeah, make of that what you will. Okay, well, I hate it when they do this. Unsuspend the construction of that. Okay, build a T lever here. That one there closes the gate. This one will close the upper gate. Okay, we lost at least one dwarf to a werebeast. And now we've lost another bunch of dwarves to a to a cave crocodile. Okay. We still got a decent amount of food, it seems. Yeah, we're not doing very well so far. This has been a bit of a disaster, all things considered. Christ almighty. You can see the miasma on the staircase where this battle happened. It wasn't much of a battle though. It was more like I say, it was literally just... You can see there's one dwarf's like arms flailing around here where the cave crocodile bit it to death. Okay, that was my fault. I didn't set up any proper precautions. What I should have done is had cage traps. I needed cage traps to deal with that. Okay, so let's mine this out here. Right there. Yeah, it's still the banished OST. I just put like whatever random OST on. Dwarf Fortress is like one song that it plays on loop, like constantly. It just plays the same song over and over again. So I just put on OSTs because otherwise you have to listen to the Dwarf Fortress song. It's not a bad song. It's just, you know, after like 40 minutes of it, you're kind of done with it. I hope none of my miners died. Okay, we got at least one miner left. Oh, we've also lost two named dwarves. It looks like Howie and Kupo died in the fight against the crocodile. So that's unfortunate as well. Okay, they're building the dumping platform, which is great. We do need to get rid of that dwarf corpse. Not dwarf corpse, sorry, troll corpse. Is anybody building any coffins? Nobody's building coffins. Did I lose all my masons? Dr. Nitro is trying to give somebody water, but they don't have any buckets, so they can't give them any water, which is causing a lot of issues. So we could try and make some buckets. We'll make some wooden buckets if we got any wood left. We'll make one wooden bucket. Right, let's see. Oh yeah, let's load up Dwarf Therapist then, and have a check out on that. This game's brutal. No, I haven't been able to figure out anything for the PD2 because it's such a hard sort of thing to do. Like, I really have no idea what the best way of approaching it is, and I just haven't had much free time to do it. The thing with Payday 2 is that unlike say Left 4 Dead 2, you don't have a clear progression of you don't have a clear progression of scenarios, right? So it's not like you have like a campaign that you can do. The way I thought you could do it would perhaps be to do a challenge that was kind of like the Killing Floor one, where the idea is to just try and complete a mission on every single difficulty. But then there isn't really like a time frame. There isn't like a time constraint on that. It could take hours, or it could take minutes. It depends how quickly you could do the missions. And there aren't really any missions that by themselves are long enough to justify an entire stream. Like for instance, if you did just a stream that was like, okay, we're going to do Hotline Miami on overkill difficulty in an hour, then yeah, I mean that could take an hour, or it could take 10 minutes, well, 20 minutes. Because it could turn out that it's actually really easy, because just got to put a finger in the wind. Well, I mean, I don't know. Perhaps I'm just not as creative. Perhaps that's it. I'm not very creative. But yeah, like, I don't know what the best way of doing it would be. So that's kind of the issue I'm having at the moment. Okay, you can see here that at least 2 dwarves are dehydrated and starving to death. That's probably because they lost their legs or their arms or something like that, which is unfortunate for them. Not much we can do about it. We did have a dwarf make a bucket, so they should be able to feed them water. Well, I mean, there's only so many heists that you can do in Payday 2. One idea I did have would be perhaps you could do something like oh, actually, what we right, actually, we don't want it like that. It can't be there. It has to be before the staircase, because otherwise it's going to flow up the staircase, which means that it needs to be roughly here. So that's where we'd have to channel. Yeah. What you could do would be to have like oh, actually no, we can do that fine. That's fine. There's a different way of doing it. So you could have because the game has like different contract brokers, right? You could do a challenge that's like you have to complete a contract from every single contract guy, and you can't do any repeats. So you're not allowed to do the same contract twice. You only get one shot at each contract. So you have to do a contract from every single one of the people who offers contracts. That's one way I thought you could do it. And then you could up it in difficulty as well. So you'd start with like the easy contract guy. He's he does the really simple contracts, and you just do one of his contracts. Then you can go to the next guy up, and the next guy up, and the next guy up, and increase the difficulty each time. So that's one way I thought you could do it. Because as well, the other thing is as well, like Jake will be incredibly underleveled compared to everybody else. He'll have no guns or anything of interest or value. So yeah, that's kind of like the other problem. Sorry, I'm just looking for more music because the banished music stopped. So yeah, we'll go with the Age of Empires 2 soundtrack. It doesn't really have. It does have leveling. Yeah, that's the other thing about it. We'll do whatever. If you wanted to shine, honestly, Team Fortress 2 would probably be better than that. I don't think I've ever been good at any game. Not to any reasonable extent. Yeah, you basically unlock perks, so you don't like you don't. Well, it's hard to explain. Okay, so yeah, a bunch of our dwarves are still starving to death. A bunch of them are still dying. We do now have some coffins, which is excellent. That means we can start building a cemetery for them, somewhere for them to sit, somewhere for them to starve. As anybody who's watched my stream for any length of time knows, they'll know that I'm an incredibly confident person, right? Like that's one of the things that's true about me. I'm not going to do anything fancy. We're just going to build a really simple area to dump coffins and leave it at that. This fortress is already a mess. I'm not going to be too concerned about the layout or anything like that. Oh, we definitely got dwarves who are just dying though. And you can see the messages, right? They're trying to give water to this dwarf who can no longer feed themselves. And it's just causing error spam because the dwarf is trying to pick up the bucket to get water, and then he's like, "Oh, there aren't any buckets." So I might have to turn that off. Actually, I might have to tell every dwarf that they're not allowed to feed water to each other. No, actually. So I haven't played since then, Gnaffle. If they change it significantly, some of it might be new to me as well. It's been a while. Honestly, that emote has never been more appropriate for the state of my dwarves at the moment. Christ almighty. I had this idea that I'd be, by this point in the stream, I'd be about halfway through building my engineering product, but instead I'm building shitty cemeteries for my dwarves because I can't handle a crocodile attack. Whatever. I mean, this kind of happens, doesn't it? These things happen. You get attacked by crocodiles. There's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's just the way. It's like the tide. It comes in, it goes out. Can't be helped. Can't be helped. But at least we'll finally have graves for them. There we go. It's how I felt when Randy skull fucked my colony in RimWorld. Yeah, I can get that feeling. Dwarf Fortress is a game that Dwarf Fortress is a game that does that. It definitely does that. Okay, used for burial, but pets cannot be buried. Okay, at least we got some graves. There's a ghostly woodcutter. I haven't gotten anything ready, Gnaffle. I don't do ready. I'm very kind of off the cuff. Planning is for other people. I've been trying to get stuff ready, but I've just not been able to. The threats in Dwarf Fortress are more organic, to an extent. Like, for example, you can obviously get attacked by like a Titan, but there's very little you can do if the Titan is made of some kind of nasty material, which means that they're just going to... Oh god, I just saw that dwarf put an arm into that coffin. Oh, thank god, some more migrants are here. We really have to take stock. I haven't really looked at Dwarf Therapist since we started, and this fortress is possibly one of the worst fortresses I've ever made in any game. Okay, so no pets are allowed to be buried here. Yeah, I don't want pets to be buried here. Alright, so they're gonna move all the corpses that they can find and put them into the coffins. I'm sure they'll have a lot of them. Also, our leather worker died of dehydration. I think they just got attacked by the crocodile, then sat in their leather working shop until they died. So yeah, that's fun. We've also got a dead dog on the staircase as well. We really need to sort that out. Luckily, I built this platform just for that. So what we do here is we go to zones, and then we're going to designate one here. And this is just going to be a dump. The garbage dump there. No, I don't want it to be a pit. I want it to be a garbage dump. Oh, okay, I did that wrong, yeah. Yeah, what I need to do is designate it from this corner here. Yeah, and then this can be a garbage dump, and then they'll throw garbage off the side into the water. So that's what we'll do now. Now we can finally tell them to get rid of this troll skeleton, which has just been sitting there on the side this entire time. And they can also do the same with this dog corpse. Hey, warrior, welcome. Okay, another one of our expedition leaders has died, which is really great. I've lost track of how many dwarves have died so far, but that's another one that's dead. Oh, the other thing that we need to do is to link that lever up. Yeah, things are not looking so great in this fortress at the moment. It's a bit of a disaster. Nobody's grabbed the troll corpse yet. An alpaca is starving to death. I don't really care about that. We've still got enough food for the time being. We're not doing great on food. Oh, we could do some nest boxes actually. Nest box. Right. So let's just make 6 of them. And let's go down into here. Right, we can at least make these into proper bedrooms, and then some dwarves will have bedrooms. Most of them won't, but we don't have enough beds. We can't really make many beds because the only place we can get woods is the caverns. And then last time we opened the caverns up, the cave crocodile killed a bunch of our dwarves. A troll got onto the surface and then got strangled to death by a bunch of our dwarves, which is not great. Not great. Okay, it looks like they did dump the dead dog's corpse into the water, which is excellent. That's exactly what I wanted them to do. Also, our God, look at this. You can see where they had some kind of fight here. Oh, there's a giant rat. Why was there a giant rat down here? I guess the cave crocodile was having a fight with a giant rat before it started fighting my dwarves. Oh man, and you can see there's a bunch of miasma here. Probably from some rotting food. I can't even see what it is. Like, oh, here it is. Yeah, rotten prepared giant rats. So we just need to dump all of this. Dump all of that. I think there's some body parts here as well. Yeah, that guy did just sit. The guy did just sit in his butcher shop and like. His nail. Oh no, this is the cave crocodile. That's part of the cave crocodile. That's just been sitting there. I guess after the cave crocodile was killed, they butchered it. Also, is one of our dwarves possessed? I didn't see the announcement. Oh, he's possessed. Yeah, he's been possessed. So we're gonna get another artifact potentially. So yeah, you can see that they're now throwing shit off the sides into the water. I mean, it's pollution and we shouldn't be polluting, obviously, but at the same time, who gives a shit? Sorry. Yeah, it's Dwarf Fortress, you know, that's kind of how it goes. Right, so we need to build some doors here. So that's what we're going to do. We build doors all along here. Hey Aristocrat, how are the wet dwarfs doing? Not so great, if I'm being honest. They're not doing so great today. It's been a bit of a struggle for them, but we're making do, right? We're making do. And now we're going to be channeling out the next part, and this is going to be the next part of our masterpiece construction, which is channeling into the caverns. What happened? A cave crocodile got into the caverns. From the cavern, sorry, and got into our fortress. And then it attacked a bunch of our dwarves on a staircase. We probably lost about 10, well, probably about 6-7 dwarves. And now we're just building the contraption that we're setting up to try and drain the ocean. We're going to take our revenge on the caverns and on the cave crocodiles by filling the caverns with salt water. I mean, that's what we were going to do anyway before the attack, but yeah, that's where we're at the moment. But the way we're doing that is by building this hideous looking contraption here. So we're going to carve all these squares out, and that means that we channel down here, and then we just need to keep channeling down, down like this. We could probably build a staircase down actually, but I'm gonna channel it. Have we gotten welcome gifts from the Totally Innocent Tower yet? Thank God we haven't. That's all I'll say. Also, one of our dwarves is still in a strange mood, right? Yeah, I don't think he's claimed a workshop. He probably wants like a metal worker's workshop or some shit like that. Right, let's just give him what he wants. He could also be after a loom or like a clothier's workshop. That's also a possibility. So we'll also build those as well, just in case. We got cracked dwarfs. You could be after a boas, which would be really weird, but it's possible. You know what? We will just build one anyway. We will never use it, but we'll build it. Yeah, it's more personal. It's this time we're more serious. Also, we really need to deal with our situation. Just keep making fine meals forever, and then let's butcher some animals. Butcher the mule, butcher the horse, butcher the donkey fowl. Just butcher all those because they're going to starve to death anyway. So we might as well butcher them and get something useful out of them. Okay, so this is the level down here, and you can see that we're channeling now. We're just going to keep channeling these little squares out. You know what? I am going to build a staircase. Actually, I'm going to do it as a staircase. It'll be a lot faster to do it as a staircase, because otherwise they're going to be going down like hundreds of levels here. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. This is you can see how many levels they need to get down in order to reach the caverns here. It's a ridiculous quantity. So if you channel the entire way down, it'll take forever to do it. Whereas if we do a staircase, it would be done a lot quicker. I mean, water can flood a staircase, so that's fine. We just need the water to go down, 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 down. Alright, and then once they've done the first level there, we then go down 1. Okay, I'm actually just going to make this easier by making this into one big staircase that's all connected at each end. Because otherwise, if I do it as like separate staircases, it's going to take me even longer to build. So yeah, that's exactly how big it needs to be. So just go all the way down. Like, yeah, go all the way down there. So how does this contraption work? Dammed in a bunch of water, now you have a sort of pump. The idea is to pour all the water into the caverns by basically just opening it up to the ocean, and then the ocean should drain into the cavern, where from there we'll be able to just have the water disperse on the lowest level of the fortress. It shouldn't rise above this level because the area will be too big, and it will just disperse over the caverns and then kind of like evaporate or whatever, go off the side of the map, etc, etc. Though the cavern layout does make this kind of annoying, so I'm not 100% sure on this, but we'll see. As you can see, the cavern is not exactly big. It's kind of narrow in a lot of respects, but we'll see if it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and then we move on to the next plan. But yeah, this is a tricky situation. We've also had yet more migrants arrive. We've got some more food, thankfully. Actually, let's just check something. Kitchen. Yeah, we're not brewing those. We're not cooking those. Sorry. Yeah, we've all got all this crap to cook. Yeah, so it goes all the way down there. Probably, you can see them going at it. It's gonna take them a long time to dig this out, but they're gonna get better at digging, and the more they dig, the better they get at it, and the faster they're able to dig in the future. So, although it takes them a long time to get to it now, they will be able to get there eventually. Doesn't the ocean have infinite water or something? Yeah, obviously it has a lot of water, but we're hoping that we can move a high enough quantity of it fast enough that we can overcome that. And we should be able to make this contraption even bigger if we need to. I mean, this is just kind of like a very basic sort of idea of how it's going to work. We can make this bigger, we can make this smaller, all of that's possible. So what we just need to do is set up some drawbridges in here to be kind of control the flow, so to speak. So we'll have a drawbridge there. Yeah, so we'll dig that out there. Drawbridge there as well, yeah. Okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll be fine. Just dig that out. Oh, I just realised something. They also need to dig this out here. Damp water notifications. Good grief. Oh, the stone's damp. The stone's damp. Get over it, man. Just because it's damp doesn't mean you can't dig there. You know, if I didn't want you to dig there, I wouldn't have designated it to be dug, would I? So don't second guess my judgment, is all I'll say. Important question: what's your favorite Payday 2 track? I don't actually know off the top of my head. One of my favorite Payday 2 missions is the Hotline Miami one. I actually really enjoy that mission. I also really enjoyed the Big Bank mission. I mean, that's a fun mission, especially when you do it loud. It's not so fun when you do it stealth. Stealthing missions in Payday 2 is not that good, in my honest opinion. I don't know, probably I imagine most people agree with me on that. I enjoy that mission a lot. It's a nice mission to do, but I don't know about music. I want to say that my favourite mission in Payday 2 is actually Hoxton Outbreak, because it's probably the mission I've done the most, but that's just because it's one of the easiest ones to farm for a ridiculous amount of money, so it doesn't really count as a favourite mission, right? Like, you know, that doesn't count. Have you played a lot of Payday 2, Ganaffle? Christ, where are my miners? What are they doing? Why does it take them so long to dig? A small 349 hours? Okay. I'll check how many hours I've got. I could check that right now, whilst we're waiting for all this digging to get done. We're not really waiting. It's just kind of waiting. It's kind of how this engineering projects go. I've only got 190 hours in it, so you've got more than me. The game I got the most hours in is Team Fortress 2. I'd love to do something in Team Fortress 2 with Jake if he was up for it. I don't think he is though. I don't know. I love that game. But it's not in a good state at the moment. Let's be entirely honest. All this rotten horse bits, rotten horse meat, rotten donkey meat. We're not cooking food fast enough. Is this RuneScape music? No, it's Age of Empires 2. I could play RuneScape music. I've played a lot of RuneScape in the past. You can see them just taking stuff to dump over the side of the water. Have they dumped the troll? Oh yeah, actually they won't dump the troll corpse, will they? Because it's outside. Also, I just realised that dwarf who was... that dwarf in the strange mood didn't claim any workshop, which means he's probably going to be very upset soon. I'm going to guess the reason he didn't claim a workshop is because he wants the clothing workshop and we didn't build it. The reason we didn't build it is because we'll have nobody with cloth making enabled, so we'll just tell a bunch of dwarves to start making clothes. And then one of them will become a cloth maker, and then they'll build the workshop. Yeah, there we go. In the past, I don't play a lot of it now. I still do have a RuneScape account because I'm like a terrible individual. But I haven't played it. I haven't played so much of it at the moment. I could stream that. I don't know if anybody would want to see me play RuneScape on stream. That'd be fun, right? You could watch me skill my thieving to level 99. Yeah, probably nothing interesting. The only level 99 skill I've got is fire making, and that's because Jagex added a minigame type deal to the game, which made it ridiculously easy to get loads of fire making EXP, and actually made it worthwhile to do as well, because before that it was like, there's like no point fire making at all, the most useless skill in the game. It's still pretty useless, except for like a handful of quests that you need it for. But yeah, so that's, they for a brief time, well actually it's still kind of worth it at the moment, it's just that, yeah, I've already done it, so I'm not doing it again. Alright, I think it's safe enough to go cut down some more trees, so we're going to try and do it. So let's go try and cut down some more trees here. Oh, also the animal dissector has gone stark raving mad, which means he's going to probably either attack a bunch of dwarves or fall off something. Probably drown in the sea, which is great, you know, we love it. We love to see it. I've been wondering if old RuneScape is worth trying out. Old school RuneScape is decent. Newscape isn't particularly good, I don't think. If you were going to go for one of them, it's much better to go for the old one than the new one. I mean, that's the game that people play. It's the game people remember as well. Whereas the new one, they've made a lot of kind of questionable changes, a lot of kind of MTX stuff. There's really off-putting. That stuff is really off-putting. I can put up with it. I can deal with it if it's just kind of like limited and it's it's kind of reasonable. Like, I don't mind DLC in games. You know, I've never been somebody who's been upset about that. That's totally fine. You know, company. You know, you want to keep updating games. You can't do it. You can't expect people to do it for free. That's 100% reasonable. What I really despise is the gamification of it. The kind of like, you can spin a wheel and you get content. You spin the magic wheel, and if you're lucky, maybe you'll win a prize. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll get some shit. In my honest opinion, that kind of stuff should be 100% illegal. Oh god. Right, this is already a bad idea. What the hell are these monsters? Troglodytes. Why are they attacking my dwarves? Normally troglodytes are scaredy cats. Oh, it looks like they're just walking around. Okay, once we got this wood, we're just going to move out of here as quickly as possible. I don't play EA games, and I don't play bad mobile games either. But I still think it's worrying that this is the trend that happens, right? Like, it. Oh, okay. The caravan has arrived. Dwarf traders. Like, and I don't know. I don't want to use the cursed word in here. I don't want to mention the cursed game. But there is a game that is close to a lot of people's hearts here. That was exploited in this way, an old franchise which was taken by EA and made into something really disgusting and awful, and you just hate to see it. You hate to see it. I'm not going to name it though. You'll probably be able to figure out what I mean. I haven't said it. I'm not the one who said it, Gnaffle. You can say it if you want to. I'm not going to say it. Alright, let's send some of our finished goods over. Oh wait, I thought we did have finished goods. Apparently we don't. crafts. There we go. Finished goods. We'll send those over. C and C wasn't the one I was thinking of, but that's actually a good example. Oh god, SimCity. That isn't even the one. That isn't even the one I was thinking of. But that's again is another example. I mean, SimCity was bad for different reasons. I mean, SimCity was bad for other reasons. But not for those. I mean, then again, they did do some really questionable DLC for that. I hate DLC that's there to interrupted by troglodytes. Christ almighty, no. Why are they killing troglodytes? Why are they coming up the staircase again? I open it up for a short amount of time and all of the troglodytes immediately try and converge on the surface and then they just get brutally hacked to death by my miners. Oh my god, it's just not safe to have this bloody bridge open for any length of time, is it? Without some sodding troglodytes or some cave crocodiles or some trolls trying to sneak into my fortress and steal my crap. 4 troglodytes dead. Why? What was the point in that? What are troglodytes? They're kind of like tiny trolls. They're small trolls. They're kind of like prehistoric humans, right? Like cavemen. Alright, we closed the cavern area off again. Hopefully no one's in the cavern at the moment. I imagine everybody's got everything out of the cavern that they needed to. So with any luck, that should be fine. I don't see anybody waiting outside here. If they're still in the caverns at this point, it's practically their own fault, right? There's just some insects and stuff in here. We got all that wood out. Right, in that case we need to, first of all, we need to dump all these troglodyte corpses that we now just got lying about our fortress. We also need to trade with these guys. So we got all this crap that we're going to be trading. We don't have a great deal of expensive goods, but we're going to be trading all this rotting clothing. And we'll be trading our finished goods bins, which have also got a bunch of rotting clothing in them for some reason. And we'll do the same with this one. And that way we'll be able to just buy some stuff off them. So yeah, we're going to buy as much wood as we can, because we do need as much wood as we can get. So let's just buy all of this wood that they're offering us. Pecan wood, excellent. That costs us barely anything for the wood. Wood is dead cheap, except we can't get it here, which is kind of the issue. They don't really have anything else, but we will buy some bins full of leather. That's great as well, because it actually gives us the leather. We'll also buy some bags, because we're probably not going to get any anytime soon. We'll also buy some more cloth. We'll buy some more leather. You know, they got wolf leather, dog leather, mule leather, pig leather, horse leather, pigtail cloth, llama wool. Which is important for strange moods as well, because dwarves can, you know, they might demand these things and we won't have them otherwise. Sasquatch leather. Oh yeah, Sasquatches don't count as intelligent creatures in Dwarf Fortress, which means that dwarves will butcher them. By the way, that's a fun fact for you. In Dwarf Fortress, they're not considered intelligent creatures, which means that dwarves are... Oh, I accidentally just shift and controlled and clicked everything, didn't I? I just marked all goods for trade. Now I have to go through and unmark everything, or do it all again. Alright, starting with the cloth. We'll get the cloth first. There are cave crocodiles? Yeah, there's a lot of things in the caverns, my man. They appear on the upper levels of the caverns, and they can appear on lower ones as well. They are quite dangerous, as I'm sure you can see from the massacre of my dwarves. They can do a decent amount of damage, so yeah, that's obviously something that you need to consider. But yeah, we are just doing that. Buy all this cloth, buy all this leather, get all this crap we don't really need, but I want. We'll just buy all of this junk as well. A sweet pod seed bag, red sang bag, llama wool bag. We'll buy that. Reindeer milk barrel, a barrel full of reindeer milk. We could buy that, for example, but we're not going to. Just going to buy all this wood. Let's also buy some ropes. And that pecan wood. Oh, he doesn't want to accept it. Okay, that's fine. We're going to raise geese. I've already got geese, by the way. I haven't actually set up an area for them to be raised in, but I do have geese. Oh, okay, that's probably part of the reason why. Oh, he's still not interested. Come on, man. You're getting loads of profit from this. You're getting over 3k profit. There we go. So he's happy with trading. That means he'll bring more goods next time he comes as well. We got a whole bunch of wood. We're going to construct some more beds. We'll construct another 10 beds. And we'll leave it at that for the time being. We're going to see how they're getting on with the construction project. Even more migrants have arrived in the fortress. We haven't checked on any of the migrants at all. We probably just got a bunch of dwarves lying around the fortress not doing anything. I might sort that out in the next episode, or I might sort that out outside the stream, because at the moment I'm mostly just focused on trying to get this construction project sorted, and as you can see, it's taking a very long time for them to dig all the way down. Though I do think we had a spare pick. I think one of our miners died, so I'm actually going to just find a dwarf who isn't doing anything and make them into a miner. Yeah, we only have 2 miners at the moment, which is really miserable. Part of the reason this is taking so long. Giant ore rig is the plan. Yeah, we're going to build mother base. you got it. That's the plan. Okay, we got plenty of food. We should actually start making some tables, and we should also start making some chairs as well, because we do need to make a dining room of some description. So let's make 20 tables, and then we'll do the same amount of thrones. Sorry, if they're made out of rock, they're called thrones, even though they're basically the exact same. What's this creature that's in our stockpile? Cavibor, okay. We should have a load of blocks now, by the way, so we should have more than enough blocks, more than we'll probably ever need. Well over 2,000, I believe, if I check this. We've got almost, we've probably got almost 1,000 blocks now in the fortress. So we've got almost 1,000 blocks, which is more than enough, I think. And we're always constantly mining out new areas as well, which means we'll get more blocks as well. Because we just turn the stone that we get into blocks. The difference between a stone and a block, by the way, is that a block can be used. You can turn stones into blocks, right? You can turn stones into blocks, and in fact, we'll just do it on. Oh, the damp stone designations getting back to me again. Okay. Right, that's our newest miner as well, by the way, our novice miner. You can tell because he's dressed as a dwarf peasant. Okay, and we'll build the bridges here. So yeah, we want a bridge that retracts up that way. And we'll just make this, we'll make this out of blocks, how about it? If we got sandstone blocks, we'll use those. We have a few, we'll use sandstone blocks. Oh, sorry, I was going to tell you what the difference is between the different kinds of... yeah, so you can turn a single stone into 4 blocks. Blocks can be used in any kind of construction, although they can't be used to make certain items. So, for example, a dwarf can't turn a sandstone block into a sandstone statue. You can only make statues using normal stone. But they are very efficient when you want to construct buildings outside on the surface because, well, you know, you only need to have... Well, basically, instead of using 1 stone for each piece of wall, you're using... you can make 4 pieces of wall out of 1 stone, which is why we are making so many blocks. And again, you can use them to make bridges, for example, which is what we're doing at the moment, or any other kind of construction along those lines. It's basically just for other things as well. And we will grab some more sandstone blocks because we should have enough. You can also make blocks out of wood, which does the same thing, though we're not going to be making this out of wood because there's nowhere near enough wood on this map in order to make a wooden platform. And yeah, that's why we're going to be using stone. But yeah, these 3 drawbridges will control the flow of water into the entrance. We'll be able to close these all up. We'll link them to a lever so that we can close and open them and prevent water from coming in and prevent water from getting out. The doors here are all going to be tightly sealed, which means that they will block any water that's still on this area here when the water's there, which will prevent water from getting into the fortress from above, which is why we have this access tunnel down here. And by having this long ass corridor, we can continue to construct new sections to this quite effortlessly. It wouldn't take very long. Then we've got this massive staircase that just goes all the way down, and that's where the water's going to be draining into, until eventually we get down to this level here where I need to make a zoom, and it's going to zoom here, and this is just going to be flood area, and that's where the water's going to go to. And we're gonna connect that up to the caverns, which you can see in little bits of here. I think this is the bottom layer of the caverns. And the caverns is expansive enough that it won't fill the caverns, right? It might fill the lower levels of the caverns, so it might fill this area here with salt water, but it's not going to be able to fill the entire caverns up. This caverns is just too big to fill with water from the ocean. So yeah, we'll be able to drop water into it, and from there, the area where we dump the water out, which will be here, we should be able to build some supports roughly around about here, because hopefully we'll be draining enough water out fast enough that that area will be free of water, meaning we'll be able to place some supports down, and then we'll be able to go from there. So yeah, we'll have a way to drain water into the caverns. It's just taking forever to do this mining operation. Scientific breakthrough: underground caverns have more volume than the entire ocean. Yeah, not exactly, but they have enough volume for our purposes. I mean, this is dwarf physics, right? I have no idea if this is going to work, by the way. I've never tried anything like this. We're going to find out today. If it doesn't work, we've got plan B and plan C. And if plan C fails, then I have absolutely no idea how we're going to accomplish this goal. We might have to give up on it unless I can figure out something else. But you will see. I mean, by the time I get round to plan C, we'll probably have lost all of our dwarves and the fortress will have collapsed because of our neighbours. So, yeah. In a nutshell, Euristo, what funny business can you do with water in this game? What is generally used for in an Orthodox run too? Water is most important for 2 things. One of them is to irrigate areas. So basically, we would say for example, you wanted to grow some food here, right? This is all stone. You can't grow food on stone, but if you flood water over the top of it, then you can then grow things on top of that because there'll be mud there. That's one thing you can do with water. The other things you can do with water is you need it for dwarves who are injured. Dwarves drink alcohol. They don't drink water, except when they're injured and lying in a hospital bed. So what you need to have is a well in your fortress where your dwarves can get access to water so that they can feed the injured and, you know, keep them from dying of dehydration. So that's the other use of water. You can also do what Sabat's 4 is suggesting here. You can cast obsidian out of water and lava. So if you pour magma into water, then you can turn that into obsidian. The other use of water is the military applications of water, which you can use to, as I'm sure you can figure out, to do certain things to certain invaders. There are other applications of water as well. It's not just that. You can actually generate power in this game, which you can use to turn certain things, including screw pumps, for example. Why is it not? Oh. Yeah, it's doing the stupid designating. So yeah, you can turn screw pumps and you can do other things with it. But that's basically what most people use water for. The issue here is that this is salt water, which means that you can't use it to drink from. It's not drinkable water. But you can still drown an elf in it, if you wanted to do that, for example. Water is a pain in the ass to deal with, though, that is correct. Dwarves will cancel jobs that are being done in water. So if an area floods, then it can flood really badly. One of the easiest ways to lose a fortress is to have it flood, which can happen from not properly doing certain things, not respecting water pressure, for example. That can cause flooding. If you've got an aquifer, that can also cause flooding. Oh yeah, if we had an aquifer, then we could drain the ocean really easily. Aquifers make it really trivial to drain the ocean. The way you would drain the ocean with an aquifer is you would have the water be poured into the aquifer, because the aquifers absorb. Aquifers basically emit water effectively. So they generate water, but they also absorb it. So you can absorb the ocean into the aquifer, which is really ridiculous. It's another example of how I've no idea why that happened. I'm sorry about that. I was just talking. I can't remember what I was saying, but I'm going to be building another construction that I want to build, and we're going to be building this construction over the ocean. And that's going to be our tavern. We're going to build a tavern out here. Oh, I was saying that you can use an aquifer to drain the ocean super easily. That's what I was saying. Because an aquifer can hold an infinite amount of water. And the aquifer will drain water out of the ocean faster than the water will arrive on the map edge, which is really powerful. We don't have an aquifer here though, which is why we're not doing that. I mean, aquifers come with their own set of problems though, so you know, it's kind of a blessing and a curse. Yeah, aquifers are a nightmare to deal with. The easiest way to understand an aquifer is imagine a tile, right? Like just this tile here. And this tile emits water, right? That's kind of how it works. So if a dwarf digs into an aquifer, then every tile that's empty that is connected to the aquifer will it floods that area with water until it reaches the maximum capacity of however much water it can hold. Which means that what usually happens is if you try and dig into aquifers, your staircases will flood with water, and you need to do a very specific kind of digging in order to get past the aquifer level. You can use them to have infinite water, and they do make it a hell of a lot easier to get water to where you need it to be, because you don't have to do all this kind of routing. You don't have to build like these long corridors that pump water in specific places. But yeah, the other thing that aquifers do is that they absorb water as well. I believe that's on top of them, so you can absorb the sea into the aquifer, which sounds ridiculous, but you can do it. It's possible. And that's dwarf physics. It's dwarf physics is not like human physics. Physics in this game is entirely different. Okay, here's an example. In human physics, two objects cannot occupy the same space, right? Like you couldn't have two objects in the exact same spot as each other. But in dwarf physics you can, but only under certain circumstances, and those circumstances where you can do it are kind of really arbitrary and weird. For example, you can have two objects on the same spot so long as they are in a dump. Well, okay, I mean, like this is kind of like elementary school physics. I'm not a super smart physics guy, but you get what I mean, right? In Dwarf Fortress, you can have 999 kittens and one dragon standing on the same tile, so long as all of the kittens were kneeling down. That'd be an example of how you could do that. Yeah, dwarf physics is really powerful. Tell them about garbage bins. Oh my god. And that is a topic for another day, I think. And perpetual motion machines, yeah. The most important thing to take away from, okay, so like dwarf physics. Yeah, okay. We built almost all of our bridges. We're just waiting to build this last bridge here. A dwarf's got to go and design it. Okay, yeah. The other important thing to know about Dwarf Fortress and dwarf physics, and this is I would call this the first rule of dwarves and the first rule of Dwarf Fortress. If a dwarf is allowed to make a decision, he will make the wrong decision 90% of the time. So, in any scenario where a dwarf is allowed to make any sort of decision, the decision he make will be the incorrect decision almost 90% of the time. That is the most important thing you need to understand about Dwarf Fortress, and that can materialize itself in multiple different ways. For example, if a dwarf has to dig out a block, an area of if a dwarf has to dig out an area of something, he'll dig out in the most convoluted and stupid way imaginable. So if he has to decide between, should I continue digging next to where I've already been digging, or should I go and dig near the surface, like miles away from where I'm currently sitting, he'll decide to dig near the surface because, again, if a dwarf is allowed to make a decision, he'll make the wrong decision 90% of the time. And this extends to more dangerous scenarios. So, for example, one of my colleagues, one of my fellow dwarves, has just been killed by a goblin siege outside. But that same dwarf was wearing very nice socks. Should I go and take his socks, risking my life in the goblin siege? Well, I'm a dwarf, so I'm going to make the wrong decision 90% of the time. and that means I'm going to go outside and I'm going to try and grab those socks. I mean, you know, there's no other opportunity to get such nice pairs of socks off a deceased dwarf. So, yeah, that's exactly the sort of decision making that we're describing here. It's dwarves have an interesting approach to decision making. Yeah, their stupidity really blows their socks off. Dwarves love socks. Dwarves will do anything to get a hold of socks. Oh, it looks like we've got a strange mood dwarf going on at the moment. So yeah, leaving the door open so that any number of things. Like you can have your whole fortress die because one dwarf dropped a sock in a door frame, which means that you can't close the door because the sock's in the way, which means that then all your dwarves die. That's the example. Okay. They're here. They've arrived. They've arrived on this side of the map. We've got an elf bowman corpse, a dwarf spear dwarf corpse, Erib Reichchild's corpse, a dwarf spear dwarf corpse, an elf crossbowman corpse, a dead mace dwarf corpse, a dwarf marks dwarf corpse, a dwarf spear dwarf corpse, and a dwarf marks dwarf corpse. I don't know about you, but I think it's time that everybody got inside the fortress. So let's tell them to do just that. We'll be putting everybody onto active training alerts, and inactive, and we're going to send all our civilians into panic mode, which I've already set up, which means they should presently flee inside the fortress ASAP. You can see all the dwarves heading back inside now, abandoning all tasks that they can't otherwise do. Except the broker, who is outside because he's asleep. Here's an example. Dwarves make the wrong decision 90% of the time. This dwarf decided that going to sleep in the stockpile outside on the surface whilst the... Holy shit, look how many dead zombies there are. Okay, there isn't a necromancer. There's no necromancer. That's really good. Yeah, I think that means it's time for us to now pull these levers. And close the fortress. That administrator will just have to sit outside. Hopefully the dead don't know how to climb walls, because if they do, he's not going to survive very long. But yeah, you can see them here. They're going to chase after our geese because one of them is on the surface still. And you can see, in fact, they're shooting at it. There's very little we can do. We're probably just going to have to wait this one out. We don't have any kind of military squad or anything like that. But yeah, this is the fun of being next to a tower. This is the first present that we've received from our local tower. I do wonder why this guy's got a name. I'm curious why this guy is a famous... Here, Erib, right? Let's have a look at this guy in a second. Oh, it's a dwarf. It's a dead dwarf called Erib Reichchild. Okay, and they've killed that goose. And it looks like some of the dwarf corpses are having a dance over it. Siege Commander? I don't know, possibly. That might be the reason. It looks like they're going to kill that chicken as well. They can't get into the fortress. It's entirely closed off. We don't have to worry about that. But they are... Oh, God. There is a dwarf up here. Vabok Delareketuk. Spinner. He's not going to make it. There's a goose up there as well for some reason. All of our geese are outside. I knew I should have put them inside earlier. I just neglected to do it. So yeah, they're currently shooting one of our geese, which is on that wall. Oh, there's our administrator as well, who it looks like has climbed over the wall himself. There's... Why the... Yeah, why they're... Okay, yeah, both those... Well, they're dead. They're dead. They also killed a piglets? Yeah, piglets. And a stray hen, yeah. So that's 2 more dwarves dead to the siege. What are the chances of us getting wiped already? We can't get wiped because the gate is closed. Wait, what? Holy shit! No, they can't have some way into the fortress, can they? Through the sea? No, we haven't breached the water, so there's no way in for them through the water. But it looks like they're going into the sea for some reason. Is there a school of fish down here? No, there isn't. Okay, they're just wandering the surface for some reason. They've killed basically everything on the surface and now they're just wandering about in the water. We can't get wiped. We'll be able to survive if we need to. Maybe they're led by Luther Harkon. But yeah, we really have no answer to this. There are too many of them, and we're not going to be able to get back up to the surface anytime soon, which means we're probably going to have to turtle, and turtle hard, and hope that they just leave by their own accord, which they should do eventually. But honestly, it's a bit tricky to say with the undead. You know, they're not like elves, right? They're not like goblins. They're not going to flee or anything. They're just going to mill around on top of here. But yeah, that's always exciting. I think, though, given this exciting conclusion to these events, we're just going to check the status of our construction project. Still not done. We have made a good start on it. There's a troglodyte corpse on the staircase still. Let's see where they're at on this. The only locals that we got are local humans. I guess we could try that, but I really don't want to risk it. That would also mean that we'd have to open the fortress for a second so a dwarf could get out. Oh, everybody's on panic mode still, aren't they? That's why they're not doing anything. They don't need to panic anymore. But yeah, if we go up here... This music's far too cheerful for what's going on the surface. Like, the dead are walking amongst us and you can just hear this, like, cheerful melody. Yeah. Oh, there are honeybees on this patch here. I didn't think there were any bees here. We could actually start a honey industry. Though it would mean that we'd have to wait for the zombies to leave first, because as you can see, there are quite a lot of them. So yeah, how about I leave it here? We've done about 2 hours of streaming today. I know it's not very long, I'm afraid, but I do have to go sort some other stuff out. I need to go eat and all that other kind of stuff. And unfortunately, I've got to go to work tomorrow, so I'm going to be doing that as well. That's going to be fun. But yeah, I will see you all again later. We'll try and figure this Dwarf Fortress crap out, but we're in a pretty grim situation, and I'm not entirely sure if we're going to be able to get out of it. I wasn't expecting this many undead. I thought they might send, I don't know, like 5 or 6. But 60 in a single wave? That's ridiculous. But the Necromancer isn't here, so if we can somehow build some kind of contraption to deal with them, perhaps we could, I don't know, some useful military applications of certain properties of dwarven physics. We'll see what we can manage. We'll figure something out. But until then, thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys again next time. Yeah, goodbye for now.